All right, it says that we are live. Hello, people. How are you doing? Let me know if you can hear me just fine. Recently did some changes to the audio setup, and I want to make sure it's actually working. So, let me know if you can hear me in the live chat. Let's hear from you guys. Make sure this thing's actually working. And then, after we confirm that my audio is working, we will get started. All right, I see some comments coming through, so everything's looking good. The sound is fine after the first 11 frames. Good to know. Good to know. I see what you did there. All right, guys, welcome to you all to whatever the fuck this is. We're going to be talking about a gentleman by the name of Pokie, who is most definitely a flat earth coward. So let me go ahead and just jump right on into this. A little bit of background before we get started. So recently, I recorded a pass of the International Space Station with my Celestron CPC 800 Edge HD telescope running Astronomy Live's tracking software, and if I do say so myself, the footage is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's awesome. You can see the structure of the space station. You can even see the SpaceX Dragon docked to the front of the station. It's absolutely amazing. And I posted that video up on YouTube, obviously, because it's so fucking good. And of course, that resulted in some flat earth butthurt, because as we all know, anything to do with the International Space Station is something that flat earthers don't like very much. Any content to do with the International Space Station will cause them to go into a rage. They won't be able to sleep at night. They'll have sweats. They won't be able to eat. They won't be able to do anything because it bothers them so much. Well, Pokie is such an example of a flat earther that decided to get incredibly butthurt at my footage and decided to express his butthurt in my comment section. And as we will see as we go through these comments, you will see that he gets butthurt. I then call him out to debate the subject. He, of course, plays some fucking games instead of actually officially accepting the debate challenge. And then he deletes his original comment, which deletes the whole thread. But unfortunately for him, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, I recorded the entire comment section. And we are going to take a look at that comment section right now. So let's go ahead and get this up. So again, this is on my video where I filmed the International Space Station with my telescope. I will put a link to that video in the description when we're done here. In fact, before we get started, just so that everyone is on the same page, I will go ahead and post a link to that video in the live chat for you all. So here you go. Here is a link to that video, and there is a explanation of exactly what happened. It is my pinned comment. You can actually see Poking posting even more butthurt as I record this underneath my pinned comment. So it's hilarity all around. It's great. It's awesome. But anyway, let's get right on into it. So on that video, he decided to leave a comment, and it starts off with this. He says, traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour apparently, what a complete joke, with a whole bunch of laughing emojis. Now, I do know that other people were involved in this thread, and I mean no disrespect, but I'm going to skip their comments and I'm going to go straight to my comments, because as far as I'm concerned, this was between me and him. So no disrespect to the other people that were in this comment section, but I am going to skip comments made by other people. So he says, again, traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour apparently, what a complete joke. So I responded with this. Hey, Pokie, we measured its altitude, size, and speed We even made a video discussing our measurements and the results we gathered. It's posted on this channel if you care to learn something that isn't conspiratorial bullshit. Needless to say, the ISS is traveling over 17,000 miles per hour, whether you like it or not. Cope, smiley face. And of course, as you all know very well, I did measure the altitude, size, and speed of the International Space Station with my good friend Astronomy Live, and I will leave a link to that video in the description when we are done. But moving on, let's play this forward a little bit. Alright, and he responds with this, and this is absolutely hilarious. He says, at Red's Rhetoric, have you any idea what traveling in constant freefall at those speeds would do to your insides? Okay. Your bodily fluids would be in a constant state of flux, would it? The heartburn alone would be unbearable. Apparently, this dude was never a child, and I'll get back to that in a moment. You don't look at the actor-nauts, ooh, clever, floating around in a weightless environment and don't realize that your digestive system fluids will be doing the same. It's all very well in a short-term environment like the zero-G aircraft, but weeks on end free-falling at 17,000 miles per hour, come on, out of interest, do you know why it's nicknamed the Vomit Comet? So the Vomit Comet, let me just make mention of this. The reason why it's nicknamed that is because you vomit, because these are usually tourists. They aren't trained individuals that have done this a few times. And also, did you know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, that if your esophagus is of a healthy type, you can drink water upside down? You can eat food upside down? And that's why I made the comment earlier. This dude apparently was never a kid. Because I remember going to the park and eating a snack hanging upside down from the monkey bars. I don't remember vomiting the contents of my stomach. So if I could do that upside down with what is effectively negative G, negative just in the opposite direction from what I'm usually used to, then zero G would do jack shit. Your esophagus knows exactly what to do, motherfucker. Alright? Understand this shit. But at the end of the day, this is all irrelevant. Even if the International Space Station was completely uninhabited, doesn't matter. I still recorded the spacecraft traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour. That's a measurement which this dude isn't even going to attempt to touch because he knows that he is full of shit. So anyway, I then respond because of course I did. And I said this: did you not pay attention to my previous reply? I personally measured its altitude, size, and speed. Your inability to understand the human body or what it can tolerate does not in any way refute my previous measurements. So unless you can find a flaw in the mathematics or methodology that was previously provided to you, kindly piss off. Smiley face. Yeah, kinda. Because like I said, I went out there and I measured it for myself. I used parallax, and I had a good friend helping me, Mr. Astronomy Live himself. Again, all you have to do is watch that video to see for yourself, that the measurements hold. Do the math. Seriously, it's basic trigonometry. Ugh. Basic trigonometry. Basic trigonometry. God, it's fucking hot. Anyway, moving on. He then responds with, you ran like a coward for my previous post. Whatever you filmed doesn't have people inside chasing each other in gorilla suits, playing the guitar while free falling at over 17,000 miles per hour. Address my previous post, I dare you. Nah, I didn't think so. Notice how he's trying to change the subject. Notice that he's trying to change the subject to human physiology and not the fact that I personally measured the altitude, size, and speed of the International Space Station. Again, on one hand, he has his misunderstanding of the human body, and on the other hand, I have my actual fucking measurements of its speed. If you want to assume that the ISS is uninhabited, fine, but your original comment wasn't about it being, occupied by humans or not. That wasn't your original post. Your original post was about its speed only, and now you're trying to change the subject because I have your ass. You know for a fact that my measurements completely debunk your original assertion. So you are trying to change the subject by bringing up your, lack of knowledge, quite frankly, of the human body, and it's completely transparent. So let's continue on. All right, like I said, other people were involved in this thread. Again, I'm just going to skip these comments. Again, no disrespect. So I then reply, your original post was about speed, not about occupation. So until you concede that your original comment was pure bullshit, we will not move on to your next bullshit claim. Now address the evidence presented to you and provide an actual rebuttal. If not, then concede the point or piss off. Smiley face. I think that's pretty clear. You're trying to change the subject. I'm calling you out on that. I'm reminding you of what your original claim was, and that you should respond to my debunk of that claim. So again, I personally measured the altitude, size, and speed of the International Space Station. What is your rebuttal to my measurements? Was there an error in the math? Did I do the math wrong? Was there an issue with the methodology? Does parallax not work for some reason? These are the things you should be attacking, but instead you're bringing up your misunderstanding of the human body. Again, whether or not the ISS is occupied, it doesn't matter. Because again, I personally measured that craft traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour. You're going to have to deal with that. Changing the subject just, it exposes that you're kind of a coward that doesn't want to stick to the original topic, the original comment that you yourself made. So we will move on here. He says, okay, let's start with the basics. On board your imaginary space station, what would happen to a glass of water? Irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. A glass of water, the water would stick to the glass due to surface tension, but what the fuck does that have to do with my measurements? That has nothing to do with the mathematics of my measurements or the methodology of my measurements. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. You fucking idiot. And like I said, skipping other people in this comment thread, no disrespect. So I responded, again, you are trying to change the subject to get away from your original claim. Is it because you have no confidence in the claim you originally made? It's unfortunate that I need to repeat myself, but I will do so as many times as necessary. Your original claim was that the ISS is not traveling over 17,000 miles per hour. Either you concede that your original claim was bullshit, or you address the evidence presented that proves your original claim to be bullshit. We are not moving on until then. So let's see how he responds. This is great. Now remember what his original comment was and watch what he says here. It's absolutely fantastic. He says, no, my claim is that there's no people up there floating around. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, he was talking about the speed of the ISS, not about whether or not there's people up there. That was not part of his original comment. See how this motherfucker is lying? See how this motherfucker is a coward that wants to try and get away from the fact that I completely debunked his original comment? Like, seriously. But anyway, no, my claim is that there's no people up there floating around any more than there's Martians in the countless UFO photographed preparing to attack Earth. Cool. The constant 17,000 mile per hour free fall environment is just not survivable for any length of time, and I have explained why, but as usual, you just stick your fingers in your ears and scream not listening. Wow, seriously? Seriously? Listen, I don't care. Let's hypothetically say. Let's hypothetically say that being in a weightless environment is impossible to survive. It fucking isn't. You could totally survive that, but let's just say his bullshit claim about survivability is true. Doesn't matter. That would just means that we have a space station that's unoccupied. We would have a space station with nobody on there. But remember what the original claim was. The original claim was that the space station is not traveling 17,000 miles per hour. But yet, I personally measured its velocity at over 17,000 miles per hour. That has nothing to do with the survivability of the environment on board. So even if you wanted to give him that, he still can't get away from his original comment. He also can't get away from my response to that comment, which was, evidence, math and measurements, the methodology I used. You see the games this guy's trying to play? It's fucking transparent. Moving on. Again, your original claim was not about the survivability of the International Space Station occupants. Your original claim was that the object was definitely not going over 17,000 miles per hour. I provided evidence to the contrary, which you have continuously failed to address. It seems that you are fully aware that you do not have the capability of addressing it. Do you lack that confidence? If not, then address the rebuttal to your original claim. Don't try to move the goalpost or change the subject. He responds with, I already explained. The facts don't care about your feelings. Fucking ironic. But then I respond with, at Pokie6087, facts most definitely do not care about your feelings. A fact under such a category would be the speed of the International Space Station and the fact it's traveling greater than 17,000 miles per hour. He says, at Res Rhetoric, yes, about 17,500 miles per hour apparently, with people running around inside wearing gorilla suits and playing guitar. Yeah, so what? And by the way, just so that we're clear, Chris Hadfield, when he was playing his guitar on the space station and he made a music video, that song is an absolute banger. Just awesome. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Absolute chef's kiss. And I'm going to put a link to that video in the description as well. Anyway, moving on. So I respond with, how about you back up your original assertion? How do you know the ISS is not traveling over 17,000 miles per hour? Don't change the subject. Because as we have seen multiple times, he loves to change the subject. He wants to try and change the subject constantly. He says, I already answered you because it's an environment impossible to survive in. Again, we're not talking about survivability. Let's say that the interior of the International Space Station was filled with poison gas. Let's make it totally unsurvivable. Let's fill the interior with poison gas, lava, fucking darts and shit like you see in those Indiana Jones movies. Let's make it just a fucking let's make it the worst. All right, for human survivability. Doesn't matter. Even if we built, Jigsaw's wet dream in orbit, That doesn't change the fact that just because people would fucking die up there, that doesn't change the fact that we have that craft traveling in orbit around the Earth if we can measure it. That's exactly what we did. And I love what Soapy said. Cars aren't real because people don't sing inside them. Exactly. You can drive a car while wearing a gorilla suit. You can drive a car while singing your hearts out. And if you're playing guitar while driving, first of all, you're a terrible human being. Don't do that. Secondly, have your passenger play the guitar. They can do so, but even then, that's still kind of dangerous because if the airbag goes off, then the shrapnel from the guitar is going to go right into your chest, and I imagine that would be very bad. Very, very bad. But anyway, moving on. He says, I already answered you because it's environment impossible to survive in, and even if that were to be true, that doesn't change the fact that I personally measured the ISS traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour, and that this douchebag has failed to address my measurements. So, moving on. This is a rather longer one. I say, again, your ignorance regarding the human body is irrelevant. I personally measured the altitude, size, and speed of the International Space Station. I then told you where you could find those exact measurements. And, as previously stated, those measurements directly refute your claim regarding its speed. So once again, refute what has been presented to you without bringing up your ignorance regarding the human body. The topic is the speed of the ISS, not whether it is occupied or not. That will come later. I'm not opposed to talking about whether or not it's survivable, but that's not the topic right now. So anyway, he responds with, I actually know a lot about human physiology. You're sure you do. I call fucking bullshit on that. Apparently this dude knows so much that he doesn't know that you can actually drink water upside down. Go fucking figure, right, guys? But he knows a lot. Well, this is peak Dunning-Kruger right here. You know, he's at the top of Mount Stupid. Anyway, I actually know a lot about the human body. Bullshit. 17,000 mile per hour free fall is not survivable for any length of time. So whatever you think you're filming doesn't contain people, as if that was his original claim. And by the way, it's not the fall that kills you. It's the sudden stop. You can fall at any speed and be just fine. It's when you hit something and turn into essentially a splat that you start to run into, you know, teensy-weeny problems when it comes to survivability. You know, when a skydiver's parachute malfunctions, he has the rest of his life to figure it out, as they say. Moving on, my response to him. Again, your ignorance regarding the human body is irrelevant. Do you notice a theme here? How I constantly keep having to repeat myself and dragging his sorry ass back to the original subject that he is too scared to stick to? Do you notice that? Man. Again, your ignorance regarding the human body is irrelevant. I personally measured the altitude, size, and speed of the International Space Station. I then told you where you could find those exact measurements. As previously stated, those measurements directly refute your claim regarding its speed. Wow, deja vu. So once again, refute what has been presented to you without bringing up your ignorance regarding the human body. The topic is the speed of the ISS, not whether it is occupied or not. That will come later. How many times will I have to call out your dodge and back up your original claim? Yeah, seriously. How many times am I going to have to call out this douchebag on his dodging and changing the subject? Like, holy fucking shit. Like, holy fucking shit. But this just shows you guys, this dude is not having an honest conversation. He's trying to change the subject, get away from the original subject because he knows that he's fucked on that original subject. Imagine that. So, moving on, he responds with, "It's you dodging, lol. I think on a subconscious level, you know you're being lied to." Oh, I know I'm being lied to. I'm being lied to by every flat earther on the fucking internet. "Which is why you're so bitter. Just like the worst kind of zealot defending their religion. There's no ISS," another claim that he's not going to be able to back up. "Sorry to burst your sci-fi fantasy, but you're never going to stay in an orbiting space hotel and going on excursions to the moon. It's all a lie." First of all, I imagine if a space hotel were to exist in the future, that shit's going to be pricey as fuck. I'm sorry, out of my price range. I live, fairly comfortably, but I'm not made of fucking money. I'm not on my way to a third Rolls Royce. So you're right, I'm not going to be staying in a space hotel, but it's not because it's impossible. It's that I haven't won the fucking lottery yet. And as far as going on excursions on the moon, maybe some people in the future with a shit ton of money will be able to go, or who got lucky with, being a NASA astronaut and stuff like that. But you're right, I won't be going on a excursion on the moon. I won't be, on the moon, sunbathing, exploring, the desolate wasteland that is the surface of the moon. You're absolutely right. I'm not going to go there because I don't have the fucking money. Again, I'm not on my way to a third Rolls Royce. Maybe if I win the lottery. If I do win the lottery, I won't tell anybody. But there'll be signs. There'll be signs. Anyway, moving on. I respond with, "Your arrogance is without merit. This entire time you have made assertions without backing them up in the slightest. I, however, have provided you with clear, demonstrable measurements showing that you are wrong. And despite having all the time necessary to refute my measurements, you responded with religious-like preachings and ignorance of human physiology. And all in an attempt to support your failed conspiracy? Pathetic. I think deep down you know that you are wrong. This is why you are dodging the challenge. And in that spirit, I will make another challenge to you. Join me on a live stream where we will discuss this topic in great detail. If you truly have confidence in your position, you will accept this invitation without hesitation. If you do not have confidence in your position, you will run away. Remember that. If he does not have confidence in his position, he will run away. Remember that. Remember I said that, because it's going to be important later on. And to finish off that comment, I cannot wait to see what you demonstrate for us all. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, I would like to ask all of you, what do you think he's about to demonstrate for us? What do you think he's about to demonstrate for us? Let's pause here for a second and let's let the live chat catch up to the stream, because I would really like to see what you guys have to say. And New Moon, if you want, we can have another live stream after this one, and I'll be more than happy to educate you on globe Earth versus flat Earth stuff. I'll be more than happy to educate you how you're the one completely full of shit and how you don't know what you're talking about. If you would like to show up to such a conversation, stick around. I'll send you a link afterwards. Anyway, moving on. I say this person is a waste of time, but they all are. Yeah, you're right, but god damn, it's fun to poke these guys sometimes. And in fairness, he came to me. So, let's continue. He goes, "Nah, I'm right." Yeah, sure you are. "Space is your religion, NASA is your holy church, and actor-nauts are your prophets. I pity you." Incredibly just, ironic. It's irony. It's absolute, pure irony. Yeah, no demonstration is going to be the prediction. Love it. So, my comment to him, I admire your ability to project so effortlessly, but yet again you have avoided answering the question. So I shall ask yet again. I believe I spaced that out a bit. Yes, show more. Thank you. Thank you, old me. Do you accept my call out for a live debate on the subject? If you have confidence in your position, then you should accept without hesitation. As of right now, you appear to be running away, thus indicating your lack of confidence. And he says this. Yes, absolutely, I accept. But it has to be a neutral channel. I don't trust you to be honest a single inch. All right, so he accepted the debate. Supposedly, he has confidence in his position. We're going to ignore this because it's to AT2 Productions, and if he wants to respond to that, he can. So I then respond with, excellent. In that case, you have one of two options, and I give these to all flat earthers I challenge. They can either choose the moderator or the venue, so I say that here. Excellent. In that case, you have one of two options. You can either choose the moderator or you can choose the venue. Pick one and I will pick the other. Smiley face. He goes, okay, I choose Flatzoid. Oh my God. Oh my God, he chose fucking Flatzoid. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. That is fucking great. But notice how he didn't actually complete the thought. He goes, okay, I choose Flatzoid, but to do what, dumbass? So, oh my God, that was, wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. I say, okay, hang on. Okay, focus here, okay. Woo! Okay. So, I say, complete the thought. You choose Flatzoid to do what exactly? Do you want him to host the venue or do you want him to be the moderator? So, oh boy, let's keep going. All right. Wow. He says Flatzoid will moderate. I then say excellent. Then I choose the Non Sequitur show to host the event. What is your availability? He says after Christmas, around mid-January, whatever, it's the holidays, I'll give him that. However, I do not accept Non Sequitur as I know that he's your ally. I see what you're trying to do. Remember that. No, remember that he said, I do not accept the Non Sequitur. Remember he said that because it's about to get really fucking confusing because I think this guy did that shit on purpose or his brain literally reformats every single time he leaves a fucking comment. So anyway, God, that was funny. And I responded with, and Flatzoid isn't your fucking ally? He's trustworthy and doesn't resort to personal attacks like you do. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, he's fucking trustworthy. My response? Mr. Deleted Frames is anything but trustworthy. Yet despite that fact, I allowed you to choose him as a moderator because I'm not scared like you. So put on your big boy pants and show up on the Non Sequitur show with your buddy to moderate. His response: so you're bailing out? Yeah, that's what I thought. See how that comment didn't follow, like, at all? You see what he's trying to do here? I think it's obvious what he's trying to do here. He's trying to run away, and he's going to try to blame me for his cowardice. Amazing. And in fact, I say as much in the next comment. At Pokie: wow, so you're running away and trying to blame me for your cowardice? Amazing! Laughing emoji. I knew you didn't have the confidence to defend your position. What makes it even funnier is that you're scared and running away even though you have your friend as a moderator for the debate. Wow! I mean, what does this douchebag have to worry about? Flatzoid's gonna be moderating for him, and that dude is fucking biased. That dude, of course, is going to try and stroke Pokie's nuts and balls and dick and everything else that there is to stroke, so that he can give Pokie every single opportunity to quote-unquote own me. And yet he's still running away? Wow. He then responds with, I don't know Flatzoid personally. You've chosen someone you're friends with. Wow, what a piece of work. As if that fucking matters. I don't care if you know him or not. I accepted your moderator without question, despite knowing exactly how dishonest he is. Remember, Flatzoid removed 11 frames to hide the curve because he's a dishonest piece of shit. But yet you run away as soon as I mention someone just to host the venue. You are a coward and everyone can see it. And then, listen to this. He responds with, I've agreed to it. I'm still waiting for a date. Keep running. No, he fucking hasn't. Remember, guys, he said that he did not accept Non Sequitur as a venue. Remember, he said that. I told you to remember he said that, so do you remember him saying that? Good, because he said that. And now he's saying, I've agreed to it? This is fucking confusing. So, to alleviate the confusion, I ask the following. And I say here, did your brain reformat? I'm the one that asked you for your availability, and then you start complaining that you don't agree with the venue. So let's clear this up right now. If I select a date next month, will you agree to show up on the Non Sequitur show and not run away? I think that is an easy to understand question. Should be a very easy question to answer. If you read that, it should be a yes or a no. Yeah, exactly. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Remember when Pokie said that he didn't accept Non Sequitur as a venue, and then later on he said that he agreed to it even though he didn't? Pepperidge Farm remembers. God. Such a underrated meme, honestly. Thank you, Family Guy. Anyway, he says, after Christmas, about mid-January, 10th post up from this, can you breathe without lying? So I then just get fed up with this shit and I just ask him point blank yet again, that does not answer my question, dumbass. Let's try this again. Will you actually show up? Yes or no? Very easy. Very easy. Let's see what he says. So scrolling up here. He says nothing. As you can see, we were 1 day and then 3 hours ago. So literally almost 24 hours had passed and I didn't get any response. So I said, still waiting for your answer. Will you actually show up on the Non Sequitur show next month? Yes or no? Needless to say, he responded, but he didn't give me a yes or no, so I deleted his comment. So we're going to fly past the rest of these, and this will conclude the thread. Your previous comment was deleted because it did not contain an answer to my question. So once again, are you agreeing to show up on the Non Sequitur show next month and not run away? Yes or no? He again did not give me a yes or no. He didn't answer the question whatsoever. Your second reply was deleted because it did not contain an answer to my question. So once again, are you agreeing to show up on the Non Sequitur show next month for our debate? Yes or no? And ladies and gentlemen, he never answered that question. That is the entirety of the thread. And then what happened afterwards, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters? He deleted his original comment, which means the entire thread is now gone. Thankfully, I was able to capture it here, so there is a record of it. But what he tried to do was hide the fact that he was being dishonest, that he was trying to change the subject. So, needless to say, this dude is a disingenuous piece of shit, but unfortunately for him, that doesn't change where we left off. I still want an answer to my question. So, Pokie6087, I'm going to ask you here, once again, in front of all these people, if I pick the Non Sequitur show as the venue for our debate, and you get Flatzoid as the moderator, will you actually show up? It's a yes or a no. I don't need to know about your misunderstandings about the human body. I don't need to talk about anything else. I just need to know if you will actually show up on the Non Sequitur show if you have Flatzoid as your moderator, as our moderator for the debate. It's a yes or a no. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to post a poll here. So, let's ask. Let's see what people will think. Let me ask the question: will Pokie show up to the debate? Will Pokie show up to the debate? It's a simple yes or a no. So guys, let's start the poll. Let's see what people choose. The no's are having it. All right, we're at 97% no, only 3% yes. Damn, Pokie, you're not having a good influence on the audience right now. A lot of people are under the impression that you are, in fact, a coward that won't show up to the debate. Right now, we're at 96% no, 4% yes. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And notice how he wasn't clear about anything, especially when it came to accepting the debate. He wasn't clear as to whether or not he would actually show up, because he said, no, I don't agree with Non Sequitur, and then he said, I've already agreed to it. No, you fucking haven't. So let's clear this up. He didn't want to clear it up because he wants there to be a state of confusion so that when the date does arrive for our debate, he can just, go on YouTube or Twitter or wherever and say, oh, I never agreed to that. Read the comments. I made it purposefully ambiguous to give myself an out. It's fucking pathetic. And then he also wasn't clear about how human physiology has anything to do with my fucking measurements. Oh, they have nothing to do with each other? And he was trying to change the subject? Huh, imagine that. So, So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and conclude this this live stream. I will make another after this one. And I do want to say thank you, Pokie, for demonstrating your cowardice to everyone, at least so far. But you do have another opportunity in the comment section of this video. All you have to do is say clearly and definitively that you will show up to the Non Sequitur show next month with Flatzoid as the moderator. That's all you have to do. I will show up to the debate. It will be on the Non Sequitur show. It will be next month, and Flatzoid will be the moderator. I accept these terms. That's it. Say that in the comment section. Say that in the comment section. Do it. Do it. Everyone will be watching. Because now that we have a record of the comment section that you tried to hide, the ball is again in your court. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, we will have a bit of an after show. Yeah, we'll go from there. So that's it for this stream. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, have a good night.